gravitated to you even more so, because he can use you because of your worldliness to come after God's people. So if you want God to gravitate to you, humble yourself, therefore under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. If you keep following God, he's going to pick you up. You may go through some things, but he's going to, in due time, when the time is right, he's going to put you where you need to be. Casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. Just give your troubles to the Lord and forget about them. Because the more you think about those problems, the more you'll be wanting to get up and not let God do his work. It tells you to be still and know that I'm God. Sometimes it's hard to be still. I know at least for me, I generally can be still for a while, and then I'm all up in the way. So I have to forget. I give it to the Lord, and I have to just forget about it, not even think about it anymore. Don't worry about it. Just know that he's got it. Because that way I can be still longer. If I just leave it alone and forget about it. It tells you to be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Whom resist. When you see something that's not right, somebody's trying to lure you to do something that isn't right, resist. Steadfast in the faith, keeping your faith and your attention on God, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. So understand that Satan ain't just coming after you. He's coming after everybody. Okay? And I could have read more of this, but you can on your own, because I'm trying to get through a lot of scriptures. My son, if sinners entice thee, if a sinner tries to get you to do something that's not right, consent thou not. Don't go. Get away from them. My son, if sinners try to entice you, try to persuade you to do something wrong, consent thou not. Do not go. Just resist them. Leave them alone. Because you know that he's going down a destructive path and you're not trying to follow him. Okay? So let him go on his own. Okay? Okay, yeah, we read this. Okay, keep it moving. Okay, he's talking about God's people starting off, and then he's going to end up telling you about the enemy. And the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach, patient, and meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves, if God peradventure will give them repentance to the acknowledging of the truth. So God is letting you know, you can't force it on people. Just plant the seed. Okay, just plant the seed. And it's up to God. It tells you in meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves. So they're against opposing. They're against opposition. They're against themselves. If God peradventure will give them repentance, if he will lead them to repent, might have to give them a whooping, put them in incarceration, or put them in a very high stress situation, and then they'll be calling on the Lord, repenting and everything. I'm sorry, Lord, if you give me out of this, I won't ever do this, da 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 da. It's amazing how Hebrews know how to call out on the Lord to the acknowledging of the truth. But see, he wants you to gravitate to the truth. Stop walking in error. Stop walking in lies. Stop walking in deceit. because the enemy will lead you there, it says, and that they may recover, resist, get away. It says that they may recover themselves out of the what? Out of the snare, out of the entrapment, out of the entanglement of the devil, who are taken captive by him at his will. Some people, Satan's God whenever he wants. He can, at 4 in the morning, at 5, 3, 2, 1 in the morning, get up, go out in the street. I want you to go rob this person, or I want you to break in this house, or whatever. I mean, he has them doing all kind of stuff at his will, you know. And he's also got a lot of demons out there too that we're going to talk about so much. It's a lot, but I'm just going to keep going through scriptures. I want to hit all these scriptures that I notated, so that you will have these scriptures. Okay, that's important. Just for you to have scriptures that you can research about the enemy, how he operates. Okay, but I'm trying not to keep commenting because we'll never get through this if I keep talking, and I'm trying not to. Okay, we already read this. That was about the Messiah being tempted. And I'm abbreviating, but also understand, even though I'm abbreviating, you can do the same abbreviation. Okay? But God is letting us know how to combat the devil. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles, the entrapment, the deceits of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. It's not people that you're dealing with, it's the spirit that are dwelling within those people that you have to concern yourself with. But it says we wrestle not. We're not in battle. We're not in opposition. We're not opposing flesh and blood. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, and this is what you're up against. You're up against forces you can't even see. Okay? You're against principalities and powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual evils, spiritual wickedness in high places you can't even see. You know, but when you go out, God will give you a spirit of discernment where you'll be able to read people. You'll be able to have vibes about people. You'll be able to detect something's not right. Because that's God's spirit that's letting you know it's time to get up out of here. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day. We are living in evil times right now. How much chaos is going on every day out in them streets? Somewhere somebody's losing their life to violence, and having done all to stand, hold on to God's unchanging hand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about the truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness. This is describing an armor that they used to that they wore back in biblical times. And the people back there, it would make sense too, but we don't wear armor like this today, so it just kind of don't make a lot much sense to us. But it's describing basically pieces of the armor that they wore back then. And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith. Faith is vitally important. It tells you that the just shall live by faith. By faith. Every day you exercise faith. You just don't know it. I mean, when you turn on a water faucet, you're expecting water to come out so you can get a drink of water. You know, when you are doing many things. When you turn a key in a lock, you're expecting the door, that lock to work and that door to open. You exercise faith on a daily basis. So when you come before God, expect him to do what you ask him to do. That's faith. Just like you expect that key to work, just like you expect that faucet to come on. You're exercising faith. You're not saying, oh, well, I hope water comes out today. You turn that faucet like you're expecting it to come on. So when you ask God for something, you're expecting him to do it. That's faith. That's faith. Okay? And above all things, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Because why? The word is going to come at you. They're going to come at you, and it's going to be hot. It's going to be intense. The fiery darts of evil people. You got them out there. It says, and see, understand, they can tempt you. They can say, hey, I got something for you. And I'm thinking to myself, you can't even tell me my name, so I don't think you have anything for me. You see what I mean? Somebody approach you on the street, all of a sudden, I got something for you. I got something I'm not following you nowhere. I don't think so. If a person come up and say they're hungry, I'll buy them something to eat or give them a few bucks or just try to do something, because I don't know, they could even whether they're using me or not, it's just a few bucks, it's not going to kill me. But the thing is that you could be helping an angel at unawares. So just do the right thing. And take the helmet. See, it's describing armor of salvation. Salvation is your eternal soul making it into God's paradise. Okay, and the sword of the Spirit, because God's Spirit is what dwells within you, which is the Word of God, following God's Word. But His Spirit is what will guide and lead you. Okay, it tells you that that God's Spirit will lead and guide you. Okay, and then it tells you about prayer. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit. Because God is looking at your heart, and watch thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. Okay? So you're going to have to persist. Okay? And for me, that utterance may be given unto me, and that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mysteries of the gospel, okay, for which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. So you can't be afraid to follow God's will and in God's way. Like I said before, you're in a win-win situation. No matter what happens, God has got you. But to know that you have done God's will and God's way, awesome. That's truly a blessing. Now I really like the book of James. James is just with such powerful meat. And when you like to grow, you want to be fed. You want to be good and fed. And I'm one of those, I want to be good and fed. It says, thou believest that there is one God, thou doest well. You're doing a good job. If you believe there's only one God. But which God? Which is the one God? Our Yah God. If you following a whole lot of other gods, like you had the Hebrew Israelites following the Queen of Heavens because they thought that things were going better for them, well, the devil will give you better. He told the Messiah, if you bow down and worship me, I'll give you the kingdoms of the heaven. All the kingdoms of the earth. Well, that's what he does. He will give you gifts just to keep you lost. Why do you think the rich and the famous and all that, some of them sell their souls to the devil for that stuff? Well, yeah, he'll make a deal with you. He's going to win. As long as he knows he's going to win. But make a deal with the devil saying that, give me all the kingdoms of the earth and I'm going to be in God's glory but my soul is still entering into God's glory. He's going to be like, yeah, you crazy. You got to get on away from me. He's not going to bargain with you unless he gets what he wants in the end. Okay? He's not going to give you all these wonderful things of the earth or whatever, and you still go up and be with the Lord. He's not going to let you have a good down here and still go up and be with the Lord eternally. The only way he's going to bargain with you is if he can win your eternal soul. That's all he wants, is you to be eternally lost. Why? Because it's eternal. He's got you forever. Okay? He's got you entrapped in his hell forever, because he's going. Him and his angels. They cannot receive repentance of God. You'll read of that in the book of Enoch. The devils also believe and tremble. The devils who used to be angels, they know that God exists. They also know that God exists. They believe that God exists, but they know that they're going to hell. And to think about that place of torment for eternal now, you know, if the devils believe and they're terrified, are you really going to be taking this lightly? This is a demonic, the devils are spiritual demonic forces, and they are afraid to go to hell. So what makes you think that you're going to have a party and it's going to be all fun and games if you end up there? So don't be deceived. Wake up. Don't be deceived. Because Satan don't want to go there. But he ain't got no choice. So he's trying to take as many people down with him as he possibly can. And if you're going to allow him to take you down, believe me, he's going to do just that. But you do have power. It tells you submit yourselves, therefore, to God. If you are in God, you'll have the power to resist the devil, and he will flee from you. You got the power to resist him. Just when something comes up to you that's not right, hey, I gotta go. Take care. I'm out of here. They keep coming. You know what? I bind you, Satan, in Yahushua's name. Be gone. Get away from me. Okay? I don't even want any part of what you're talking about. Be gone. I remember once someone called my number, and they're talking like we're friends or something, some stranger, and he's like, so how, I'm such and such, and how is your day going today? I mean, how is your day today? I mean, or you having a really good day or something, he said like that. And I said, well, how may I help you, sir? And he said something about he wanted to work on my computer, and I said, excuse me? He said, I'd like to repair your computer. And I said, you know, I'm not interested, but you have a really nice day. And he just became silent, and I just hung up the phone. And he had called anonymous. So then he called back, I think the next day. So when I saw the anonymous again, I just ignored the call. And he called back immediately. And I asked him, I said, do not call this number again. Because I knew already inwardly I already knew he was a deceiver, trying to get into my computer so that he can hack it. Well, I mean, so I asked him not to call again. And so I hung up, and he called immediately back. So I just put anonymous calls on block. Okay? See, sometimes you just have to get rough with the devil, because he's going to come. You can't always be nice to the devil, because the devil is, if you're nice, he's going to really come at you. So sometimes you got to let him know, I'm not interested, and then just get off the phone, and he'll keep calling back, and just let him know, do not call me again. If I was nice enough to tell you I wasn't interested, that was telling you right then and there that I don't want you to call here again. So since you don't get it, then I'll just tell you, do not call my number again. And they call back, I just blocked the whole thing. So now they can't call unless they call with a regular number that'll show, and I'll just block that as well. So you just have to block out the devil. You have the power to resist the devil. You know that they're coming with nonsense and that it's nothing but a gimmick. So don't put yourself in harm's way. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Be afflicted. It tells you to be afflicted and to mourn and to weep. Let your laughter be turned into mourning and your joy into heaviness. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. So if you're going through some things and you're suffering and things are not right, just hold on. You know, instead of you being so happy all the time, it doesn't hurt anything to cry. It doesn't hurt sometimes to cry. I don't think I have tear glands anymore. I've been through so much. But it says to turn your joy into heaviness. Don't love this world. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. Let God put in your life what he has for you, because he will keep it. Okay? It says, speak not evil one to another. Be careful about what you say. One to another, brethren, talking about the Hebrew Israelites. He that speaketh evil of his brother and judges his brother, speaketh evil of the law and judges the law. But if thou judge the law, thou art not a doer of the law, but a judge. So we try not to judge one another, even though there are so many horror stories we can tell, or at least I can tell in my life, about how people that you think would be for you or against you. And you sometimes have to find that out from outside sources, because the people that you think are for you or against you, they're playing a role. Smiling up in your face like they all that, you know, that they got your back and they love you and all that. And really, all along, they've been your enemy. You're going to sometimes run into these types of things. So just keep your focus on the Lord. Okay. So I'm just getting some scriptures, going through some scriptures. Then I wanted to show you some images, but I didn't really want to go back and forth. But understand that our God is a jealous God. And you got to be careful about some things. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, messing with stuff that they don't know about. With abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, they like the Queen of Heavens, that was not God. They sacrificed unto devils, thinking that it was a good thing and it was a bad thing, not to God. They sacrificed unto devils, not to God. To demonic forces, little gods, to gods whom they knew not. To new gods, like the Ouija board, like that, where we were showing images of where they were on Halloween, where they do types of demonic rituals and whatnot, standing in circles with the store in the middle with candles and all that, reading books, demonic books. It says to new gods that came newly up, summoning up gods whom your fathers feared not. They had no fear of nothing, not knowing that when you conjure up something, okay, let's say for instance, okay, I have some images here. Let's say, for instance, we're going to look at some of this. See, if you want to play with this, okay, the devil game. You want to play games with the devil. Understand, you're already defeated. You're already defeated. And where you might think it's a game, you're going to find out in the end it wasn't a game. Satan will set you up for destruction. You sit up here and think that you can outwit the devil. Okay? The devil will play your game. Don't think he won't. You get to conjuring up spirits, demonic forces, you will get stuck with something you cannot get rid of. Why? Because you can't turn it on and off like a faucet. You get to plan in spiritual things. Yes, you can conjure up demons. You can conjure up evil, whether you know it or not. You can conjure evil up. That's kind of spooky, isn't it? That's why I put it there. Get your attention. Stop messing with spirits. Understand that when you conjure up something like this, don't think you're going to turn it off just because you decided that, okay, you say, for instance, I'm going to conjure up a demon so that they'll go out and kill somebody that I don't like, and and I'm not gonna say but you will put your soul on the line for this demon to do that. And so that demon will go out and do some dirty deeds. But guess what? You are going to be in big trouble when it comes on Judgment Day. Because you know what? That person might have, before you took his life, repented and gave his life unto the Lord. And you took him out, and now, guess what? Your soul is lost. And who won in the end? That person did. Because let's think about Lazarus and the rich man. The rich man won on earth. But guess what? Lazarus won in heaven, and eternally, and forever. Lazarus gets to look down at that rich man burning and being tormented in a flame, while Lazarus is comforted for eternity. See, he is not something that you can see. He's invisible. But if you could see him, you'd probably be terrified. If you woke up and you saw this image coming at you, what would you do? If you just happened to wake up out of bed because you heard a noise and you looked and this image right here was on its way towards you, what would you do? You would be so terrified. You wouldn't know what to do. So understand, don't play games with the devil, irregardless as to what that game is, because you've already lost. His objective is your soul. He's going to devour you. If you mess with him, he's already going to eat you up like that. Like it says, he walketh about as a roaring lion. As a roaring lion, he walketh about seeking whom he may devour. He's going to eat you alive. And this is not, man creates images of the devil. But believe me, the devil is such a hideous being that I don't think that you can create an image of him. But understand this, he's after your soul. He's about death. He's about destruction. That's what he's about. Okay? So don't think that you can defeat him, please. Because if you do, you're already defeated. Because you've underestimated him. Okay? Satan's job is to get you to self-destruct. If he can get you down a destructive path, he will do that. His job is to get you to self-destruct in whatever ways will cause you to self-destruct. These things that you put in your system, if they're not doing your system any good, then why are you using them? Okay? Since we're on the devil, we have a lot of images to go through. Some people, when they play with Ouija boards, or when they play with these whatever kind of games, or whatever kind of demonic conjuring ups, a lot of people like to communicate with people that they knew. Parents, grandparents, friends, that have passed away. But understand, remember how we said that the devil can take on form, so can his ministers? Understand that when you conjure up stuff, you cannot really see what these demons may or may not look like. You'll be thinking that you're talking to your grandmother or your great-grandmother or whatever, and you'll probably be talking to something like this, that is taking on the form or the voice or even knowledge of your great-great-great-grandparents. Why? Because they've been scoping you out. Didn't Satan say that he went to and from in the earth? Yes, he goes to and from forth in the earth, checking out everybody and everything, and plus he's got his demonic foes doing the same. So understand, when you are playing with spirits, you're playing with something that you cannot comprehend. You're playing with something that you cannot truly tap completely into. You can't detect. Okay? And if you can detect it, how can you prove that it's actually your loved ones? It could be these people right here, these images right here that you're talking to, instead of the person you think you're talking to. He got his hands folded like this is something he's enjoying. Yeah, come on. Come on, play this game with me. I'm ready for you. You see what I mean? And they actually are ready for you. They are ready to trick you out of heaven. They're ready to trick you into being lost. There are all kinds of demons out there. And you can't know whether or not if that demon is truly someone that you loved. You might have lost a loved one in a car accident, and you miss them so much, and now the devil is taking advantage of that. Yeah, let's go get him. His heart is broken. You know, some people think that they can see images. It's possible maybe that you can. But my Bible tells me regard not familiar spirits, and I don't fool with them. If a person tells me that they fool with spirits, well, then leave me out of it. I have no interest in dealing with something that the Bible warns me to not fool with. I take God's advice and I leave it alone. And you need to do the same. Because I'm going to tell you something. Look up the word in a dictionary called incubus. Incubus is spelled I-N-C-U-B-U-S. Incubus. Incubus is when a woman is sleeping and a demon or demonic force, if you ever watched the movie The Entity, spirits do exist, because we know that God is a spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So we know that spirits do exist. But understand that some people, people who are not grounded in the Lord have suffered have experienced where they have been sexually assaulted in their sleep by an invisible force called an incubus. There's a movie called The Entity. The Entity basically shows a woman who is being raped by a demon, by an invisible force. Okay? Now this woman is asleep, and here you have this force on her that is actually involved with her. And I personally know someone who has experienced this. You know, while a woman is asleep, this demonic force gets with her. And once she even expressed that, you know, she really don't even need a man, you know. But that tells you where her spiritual awakening is when you have demons visiting you, you have a problem. Because if you are in the Lord, these demons should have no power to even come upon you at all. So if you or someone that is experiencing this, then you really need to get with the Lord. There are also people that go to sleep, and when the phone rings or someone knocks at the door and they try to get up, there is a force pressing them down. They cannot rise. Okay, there's a spirit that will weigh them down. And this is something that is more common than you think, because the majority of the world is lost. So the devil has a lot of choices out there to go and harass whom he will, because they are not in the Lord. They're not following truth. They're following deceit, and they're following lies. They're following error. God's hand is not upon them and in them. Like I said, when I was 10 years old, I prayed for my future. So God hand was upon me from that point on. I bless God for giving me wisdom in such a young age. Okay? But when I was young, I prayed that prayer and I never forgot that prayer. Because every time I wanted to go in my will and in my way, I understood why God didn't allow me to. I mean, I was out there. Now, can you imagine some type of demonic thing like this being near you and you sleep and you can't wake up? Well, you can't see it because it's invisible. But I mean, let's say, for instance, if the image became visible and you found out that this was with you, you know, and you can see this girl here is completely out. She's completely knocked out, you know. So I mean, this is things that actually happen, and it may not be like this, but it's just going to show, it's just images to give you an idea of what is out there, you know. I mean, you're sleeping and you got these forces that are messing with you in your sleep. Okay, so understand that's incubus. Look it up in the dictionary and you'll find out what incubus is. Now there's incubus there, I-N-C-U-B-U-S, incubus. Okay, then you have succubus, S-U-C-C-U-B-U-S, succubus. Okay, succubus is the reversal of incubus. Succubus is when a male is sleeping and you have a female spirit that comes against him in his sleep and sexually. And there's also a movie out there about that. There's a man, I don't remember the name of the movie, I can't even think about it. But sometimes I'll watch certain spiritual movies to help you to just kind of know what people are experiencing. Sometimes people will experience something and make a movie about it, and because they want people to know what's out there. This actually does exist. This here is a female demon. You got male demons and you got female demons. And the female demons, they seduce the men while they're asleep. Okay? Of course, you cannot see them because they are invisible. But the man is woke up and he is completely drained, you know, because a female demon has been on him. Okay? So understand that these things actually do exist. Okay? And it's like I said, it's the reversal. It is the reversal of incubus. Succubus. Incubus is a male becoming sexually intimate with a female in her sleep. And succubus is a female being sexually active with a male in his sleep. Okay, so it just goes to show you now how she does that or whatever, who's to say? I don't know. Maybe he thinks he's actually having sex in his dream. So that's how she gets him his privacy at a state that she wants it, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. But these here, understand this as well. This is Anton LaVey, the founder and the high priest of the Church of Satan. Okay. This, I believe, is a member. Let me see if I can pull that up a little closer. This is one of his members, Marilyn Manson, citizen of the Infernal Empire. Okay, citizen of the Infernal Empire. And then she signs her name, signature of the bearer. So they have actually said the Church of Satan. And you notice this upside down star, and there's a goat, a symbol of a goat inside. You know, actually, because God says that he will separate the sheep from the goat. Let me see something. well, let me finish this. It's so much to go to, but understand that these things exist. The church of Satan. Now, I believe that these symbols here mean something. I guess wind, store, earth, wind, fire. I don't know. I don't know exactly what they mean. But these upside down stars have the goat's image, and that's a goat's face in it. We're going to look at a goat, because a goat is actually shaped like that too. Let me see some. As a matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, let me see if I have a symbol of a, where there's a goat's head, but let me see something. I'll come back into that. I think some of my folders must be missing or something. I should have more folders than this. I think it's in this. Okay. Understand that this is a demonic world. You've got a demonic force that is in control of this world. We read where if the gospel be hid, it is hid to them who are lost, and whom the God of this world, small g, okay, not the creator God, but the God of this world, which is the devil, Satan, holds them captive at his will. So he tells you that he roams to and fro in the earth, just watching. He's a demonic force. He's the spirit of the wilderness. Okay, so he travels, and his demons do too. Okay, this is the here's a sheep, and here's a goat, and the wheat and the tare are growing together right now, as we had saw earlier. But God is going to be the one who's going to separate the goat from the sheep. Okay, this is God's sheep, and this is the goat. We notice that he does fit the upside down star, where the 2 points are there, the nose, head go there, and then they got another star hanging out. He does, his face is shaped in a backwards or an upside down star. And it tells you that the wheat and tare shall grow together. Okay, we looked at the wheat, we looked at the tare. The wheat and the tare, they're going to grow together. The sheep and the goats are intermingled right now. And God, when God comes, he's going to separate the one from the other. He's going to come and separate. You don't have to worry about doing that. He's got that. Okay? So we're going to get back to this. And I'm just kind of showing you some images, because you need to be aware of these images in the event you run across them. The goat image and these symbols, which I'm wanting to almost say that looks almost Hebraic. This one too, and this one too. It almost looks like Hebrew, but I don't know exactly what those symbols stand for, and I don't want to try to guess. And this is just an image that somebody created of the devil, and with the goat's head on it, and the man's body, and you got a little girl here, and you got a little boy there, and they're looking up to this. Okay. Now, I didn't know that the devil had wings, but I guess he does. At least they think. Okay. Alrighty, so. And some people believe that an upside down cross symbolizes the devil as well. You know, a cross being upside down. They showed an upside down cross at one of the Roman Catholics' churches where it was an upside down cross. Now this God man here is Anton LaVey, and you see he's holding a python. He's everything to do with Satan. He is the founder of the Church of Satan. There's the image behind him. He's no longer on this earth. He's deceased. And with all that he has chosen to do, he's more likely, like the rich man, suffering in an eternal hell probably right now as we speak. I didn't want to hit more images. So that's just something I'm showing you. Here is a satanic ring. You know, you're going to have evil things out there. Expect it. Now the ring, as you can see, they probably slip their finger in through this way, so that way the upside down store, you see what I mean? When they stick their finger in that way, then they're looking at an upside down store. So understand that there's things out there that you need to be aware of that are satanic. Okay? It's kind of an upside down symbol of a store. But this is supposed to be demonic too, supposedly. So if somebody gives you these gifts, you will know not to accept it. Okay? Because they're not of God. An upside down cross, a 666, you know, anything that's to do with evil, resist. It tells you about the accursed thing. I'm pretty sure we read about some things in this earth are cursed. It tells you about the accursed things. Let me see something real quick. Because, I mean, if I can, I don't want to really miss anything if I don't have to. But the Bible lets us know that some things are accursed. And we need to know this so that we don't end up in error with the Lord. Okay? Now we got on this because we were talking about how people are conjuring up demonic forces. Okay? They sacrifice unto devils, not to God. To gods whom they knew not. To new God that came newly up. That means they must have came up from hell or somewhere. Whom your fathers feared not. Well, most people that conjure up a spirit is not afraid of it because they're thinking they can control it, which once they get it up, they find out, nope, that's not the case. Okay, so we know that some things are accursed. Okay, and we're gonna read a few accursed things that we know to be accursed. Or there was a curse. It tells you that, and if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be to be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree, his body shall not remain there all night upon the tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him. For he that hangeth is accursed of God. That thy land be not defiled, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance. So it says, for he that is hanged, anybody that is hung, is accursed of God. That's the reason why they hung so many blacks, trying to condemn their soul to hell. Okay? Now I let you know, and ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed when ye take of the accursed thing, and make the camp of Israel a curse and trouble it. So don't ever bring anything that you know is cursed into your dwelling, because you are going to be a cursed thing like that cursed thing. Okay? You're going to create curses in your life. So don't even bring anything in your house that is of the devil, because we know that the devil, he is cursed. Okay? It tells you here, and I'm not going to read all of it, but I have it marked from Joshua 7, 1 through 15. So if you want to take it up on your own time and read from Joshua 1 all the way down to Joshua 15. Okay, I may read the first and the last, but I'm trying to get some scriptures out, and I got to kind of wrap up the time. But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing. For Achan, the son of Carmi, and the son of Zabdi, and the son of Zerah, and the tribe of Judah took the accursed thing, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel. So you will cause your whole family to be cursed, not just you. He said that the children, all of them, became cursed. And it shall be that he that taketh with the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire, and he and all he hath, because he hath transgressed the covenant of the Lord.